good morning. Now we start our Facebook Live. Thank you to our viewers all over the world. And now we have a very special topic. So please stand by. I'd like to encourage first all our viewers to please like and share this page. We will be talking about migrant women and children all over the world, especially in Hong Kong. So right now, let me introduce myself. I'm Lorna Villanueva. I'm the marketing manager of KL Home Care, and I will be your Facebook Live host today. So, as you know, our KL Home Care service, we're an employment agency based in Hong Kong, and we are doing a lot of service for the hiring and processing of overseas Filipino workers, overseas Indonesian workers in Hong Kong. We have agency hire services, including those based in Hong Kong, based in Philippines, based in Indonesia. So how to do that? You just have to like our KL Home Care fan page and inquire more about our services. We also have direct hire service. If you have friends or you want to come back to Hong Kong, you are coming from different parts of abroad, you have work abroad, you have employer, you are looking for employer, please come and we will be able to answer your needs in terms of providing employers. We also have renewal of contract in terms of Hong Kong migrant workers. So at this point, I'd like now to continue, but again, I want to encourage you to please share and like this page, and we will have a very good topic today. At this point, I'd like to call our guest speaker, resource person. She is the director of PathFinders, Education Services and Community Development. Let's welcome Ms. Carmen Lam. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Thank you for coming, and we really appreciate that you have time with us. And I believe later you're gonna call your colleague, yeah? Okay. So, Ms. Lam, what is the main service of PathFinders in terms of the migrant women and children?
So, like PathFinders already established for 10 years. We are helping the pregnant domestic workers who are having babies in Hong Kong, and also, they have pregnancy issue while they are working. So we provide like different service, which including counseling, healthcare service, and legal advice, and many other services, as well as education and community outreach. So we provide a wide range of service for all the domestic workers in Hong Kong. They have a pregnancy issue.
Yeah, but before we go to the main issues of PathFinder, we would like to know why is this happening? Of course, in Hong Kong alone, we have 380,000 migrant women, and we're talking of 90% of them are, when you say, in the reproductive age, correct?
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So, have you done any study
Yes.
about that?
Yes. So actually, in Hong Kong, 1 out of 7 working women, they are in the reproductive age. So you can see a lot of women while they're working in Hong Kong, it's very normal for them to start off thinking to have a family, and also maybe looking for a partner and start having children, because there are a lot of domestic workers when they come to Hong Kong, they're probably in their 20s, 30s and 40 years old. So it's quite common, if they want to have a children on their own, and also start to have a family. So it's so often that they may meet someone in Hong Kong while working, and also maybe they will marry back in Philippines or other countries.
Yeah, so even married women, we're talking not only of the single, also including married, and even those who would like to get married, Talking about that, Ms. Lam, I believe that we have cases of deception, right?
Yes.
Well, when we talk of pregnancy, it's talking of planned or unplanned
Yes.
pregnancy.
Yes.
So maybe you can share more light on that.
Sure, because a lot of women like who come to us usually they are fall under the unplanned pregnancy because like they didn't think about like how to raise the children, what is the family life like and who will looking after the children. So like usually they fall under to unplanned pregnancy, then they come to our NGO to seek assistance. A lot of the time when they get pregnant like in Hong Kong, they will think that the men in Hong Kong, all of them will be able to work, they are allowed to work, but actually that's not true. And they also fall in the deception is that, if anyone get married in Hong Kong, they will automatically become Hong Kong permanent resident, but that's also not true. So that's why we're here to clarify,
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
So I think for the viewers, let us reiterate that fact, It doesn't mean that when you get pregnant or get married or let's say have a relation in Hong Kong, you're gonna automatically become permanent resident, which is happening right now, yeah? Well, it doesn't mean though that you cannot get pregnant.
Yes, yes.
Because we welcome life.
Yes.
So except that some are unplanned pregnancies.
Yes.
So okay,
Yes.
let me go back to deception cases,
Yes.
even online cases, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
would you like to clarify that again?
Yes. So like a lot of time like the ladies will be fall into this like woman scam, and then they thought, if I'm married to this guy who work in Hong Kong, I can become Hong Kong permanent resident. But it's not true because this really totally depends on what is the status of the father, of the husband. Even though if the husband is living in Hong Kong, but if he is not Hong Kong permanent resident, it would be hard to sponsor to the lady to become Hong Kong permanent resident. Same as like if the lady having birth in Hong Kong, the child will not automatically become Hong Kong permanent resident. It also depends on the status of the baby father. Sometimes the baby father is unable to sponsor the child or the moms because of the low income, and also because like he's overstayed, he's not even allowed to work. So that's why like even though the child was born in Hong Kong, the child will not become Hong Kong permanent resident.
I think the issue is related to some use pregnancy, I'm sorry to say, to be able to become permanent resident.
Yes.
Okay, that's one case. The other case is about being deceived
Yes.
by, men who would promise residency, or even not even residency, a brighter future for the children, because some promise to bring them abroad, like foreigners, right?
Yes.
Okay. Like only to find out they are overstayers. Can you talk about that more? Those overstayers,
Yes, so like because this is really common like a misunderstanding. They think that everyone live in Hong Kong is allowed to work, but actually it's not true. If for asylum seeker they are not allowed to work in Hong Kong. Of course for overstayer they also are not allowed to work in Hong Kong. So like the more to think about is how to sponsor the child and how to support the child if like the mom decide to give birth in Hong Kong. So it actually is quite a deception, like because like the woman we think that you're staying in Hong Kong for a couple months, for a couple years, you must have like certain income, financial income, and also maybe you are allowed to work, but that's not true. So that's why a lot of women like in Hong Kong as a domestic worker, they will like fall under this like myth. They think that all the men that I met in Hong Kong are allowed to work, and all the men that I met in Hong Kong are Hong Kong permanent resident, which is not true, and that will not guarantee them to have a Hong Kong permanent residency as well as for their children.
Okay, so let's talk about overstaying. What do you mean by overstaying in the context of Hong Kong?
Yes, so overstay means someone like who have their visa, but like they stay over their visa expiration, so they still continue staying in Hong Kong even after they expire the visa. So
and in this case, usually we have like the 2-week rule, right?
Yes.
So the 2-week rule after, most of the domestic workers here have a 2-year visa.
Yes.
All right. But the reality is, on 1 day notice, 1 month notice, they can be terminated anytime, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So once they terminate, they only have like 2 weeks to decide whether they want to return home or looking for a new job, new employment. So these 2 weeks, you can imagine if someone who is pregnant, it will be hard for them to look for new employment while they are pregnant. So usually they will go hidden in the society because they don't want to go back to their home country either. So that's why they would just disappear and left employers home and then just go underground and being visible in the community, and which is we don't want to happen, because you can imagine as a pregnant domestic worker expire the visa and go under the hidden the surface, and then what can do for their unborn baby and for themselves.
So usually the 14-day rule is even happening even for those not pregnant.
Yes.
But it becomes more, let's say, problematic
Yes.
for someone who are pregnant,
Yes.
terminated,
Yes.
and let's say they don't want to go home yet. They
Yes.
are not ready to go home yet
Yes.
because of other reasons, many reasons.
Yes, that's
Okay, talking about that, those unplanned pregnancy, and then do you already have cases wherein they overstayed?
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yes, we have almost, I would say, half of our cases they are overstayed, and they usually this is a difficult choice for them to return home, and that's why they overstay their visa and then become an overstayer. So once they become overstayer, we will encourage them to go to the police stations to surrender before we can provide any service for them. So after they surrender, they can receive our service, and also we will help them to decide what to do with their pregnancy, and also whether they want to go home or they want to give birth in Hong Kong, or what they want to do with their unborn child.
All right. So what we're trying to say here is, even if you are overstay, of course don't overstay,
Yes.
because it's against the law,
Yes.
When you say overstay, that means you go beyond your
Yes.
stay. You don't have a visa, working visa,
Yes.
then you will be illegal.
Yes.
We don't
Yes.
encourage that. Before you overstay, though, you can approach
Yes.
PathFinders,
Yes.
because PathFinders is working towards helping
Yes.
the pregnant women and even the child after it is born, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. We'll go back to that
Yeah.
later, okay?
Yes.
I want to focus on overstaying.
Yes.
Yeah, because now the 14-day
Yes,
or
yes.
2-week rule
Yeah.
is happening.
Mhm.
But in other countries, it's not, right? I mean, let's greet our viewers from all over the world. By the way,
Yes.
hello to everyone, to those in Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, Malaysia, Indonesia.
Yes.
We are here. Thank you for watching us, and please feel free to give your questions right now, right? And then share the page,
Yes.
our KL homepage, KL Home Care fan page, so that because this is a very important topic, and it's not only true for Hong Kong. Overstaying is happening all over the world. But as I think we're talking about that, there are different scenarios
Yes.
and laws.
Yes.
We're talking of Hong Kong now, but can you share about the other
Yes.
laws in other countries?
Yeah, because in other country, actually maybe they are not even allowed domestic worker to get pregnant, such as Singapore. Once if the domestic worker get pregnant in Singapore, they will be blacklisted by the government, and also the employer need to pay fine if their helper is pregnant. So that's why different law is applied to different country. But in Hong Kong, domestic worker is entitled to maternity leave. So actually, if domestic worker working in Hong Kong, they are allowed to be pregnant while working.
Oh, that's a good news for Hong Kong.
Yes.
We're talking of the legal though, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Those are who have a working permit in
Yes.
Hong Kong. They are entitled,
Yes.
yeah, to the maternity leave, and then the employers cannot just terminate them.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
share us more about that?
Sure. So for the maternity protection for the foreign domestic worker in Hong Kong, they are entitled to 10 weeks maternity leave. If they work more than 40 weeks, they are entitled to 10 week paid maternity leave. But even if they work less than 14 weeks, they are entitled to 10 weeks unpaid maternity leave.
Well, that's good news again. Of course, we don't encourage because we came here to work, no, not to get pregnant. That's why we even, I know we are from the agency. We're even asking. I mean, employers are telling us to get pregnancy test, because how can they work efficiently if they are already pregnant? On top of that, the idea here is, since we are productive, and then you have a husband or even a partner, you can, because pregnancy shouldn't be a bad news. It's life is always a blessing.
Yes, true, true. Because like every woman has the right to get pregnant or having a child whenever they want, So this is the basic human right. So like in Hong Kong, like they are allowed to get pregnant while working as a domestic worker. But I think more important is like what to do with the pregnancy and how to raise the kid and with a better planning for the future. So like for example, like one ideal case would be like once the helper finds out she's pregnant, she would like take 10 weeks maternity leave and then maybe return to home country to give birth and then come back to continue working again. So like just like any of the working women in Hong Kong.
So the key here is to communicate, right?
Yes.
Okay. Employers, if there are employers watching us now, I think you have to know that pregnancy is welcome, but because we are also mothers, and we can still work until the end, right? We only have a few, maybe 1 hour, 1 month will be okay. Then we can, work again. So in Hong Kong, we are lucky or blessed to have Hong Kong have this kind of maternity protection for pregnant women legally.
And mentioning about the employer actually is illegal for the employer to terminate a pregnant domestic worker, and they can prosecute and also will be facing conviction like for like a fine up to $100,000. So like if illegal termination happens, actually the helper is allowed to file a claim at the Labor Department and also Equal Opportunity Commission to file a claim against her employer, and then like the prosecution will happen. But of course, it is not something that we want to see. That's why
we don't want to go to that extent, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's why I think that both parties, the helper and employer, should know about the maternity right in Hong Kong for the domestic worker.
So let me go back to that. Say it's illegal for employers to terminate pregnant domestic workers. But there is a catch there, right?
Yes.
They have to be working 40 weeks or not really?
Not really.
Oh, anytime.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So when they come and then they're pregnant and then they terminate, the helper can say, no, I have a right.
They have the right.
Right.
They have the right to have a pregnancy, but it's just that if the worker work less than 40 weeks, it will be unpaid maternity leave.
Okay, so we're saying 40 weeks means around 10 months?
Yes.
Okay, if the worker is already 10 months, working 10 months or almost 1 year with the employer, they are even entitled to maternity leave, which is how much?
Like actually it's the 4/5 of their wages, but most importantly is like she have to show her medical certificate to the employer to prove that she's pregnant now, because like otherwise like without that as an evidence, like the employer won't trust. Oh really, are you really pregnant? So actually like the most important, when she announces the news to the employer, remember to show the medical certificate to the employer
right away.
To the employer, and then to tell her the estimate due date. So
estimated date of delivery.
Yes.
I know because I'm a mother and I got pregnant also in Hong Kong. Anyway, so you have to inform your employer right away, and this employer cannot terminate you on the basis or
Yes.
on the ground of pregnancy.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
that makes it clear.
Yes.
Okay, we have a question from the audience.
Yes.
What if the helper was terminated while in the Philippines, while on vacation due to pregnancy?
Oh, due to vacation. So actually, like if she is still with her contract, like she is not allowed to be terminated. Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, like she need to prove her same like medical certificates to the employer. Tell the employer that like when is her estimate due date, you know, and then work out with the maternity leave plans. Yes.
Okay, I think it's basically if, for instance,
Yes.
let's take a scenario here,
Yes.
right? The helper went home,
Yes.
and then of course he has a husband,
Yes.
and
yes,
she has
yes.
a husband, and then
Yes.
came back pregnant.
Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
then when she came back pregnant,
Yes.
and then she presented her let's say medical certificate
Yes,
right
yes,
away.
yes,
Mom,
yes.
I'm pregnant,
Yes.
and the employer
Yes.
said, okay, I don't want any pregnant helper
Yeah,
here
yes,
now,
yes, yes.
and terminated her.
Yes.
So did it happen in the past?
Yeah, like I think like similar case happened in the past, but like the employer should not fire her because of her pregnancy because she still have her contract, right?
Okay.
So like as long as you know she know about her pregnancy, what she need to do is like to get her medical certificates to prove that
Okay.
she's pregnant now and when is her due date and present it to the employer. So that and then also let the employer know what is her right in Hong Kong and you know what they can do you know afterward.
All
Yes.
right. In other words, okay, this is the scenario. She came back, and then of course 9 months. That's the
Yes.
normal 9
Yes,
months
yes.
pregnancy. Even before, she can still work in the
Yes,
first place,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
And then before the 9 months, because
Yes.
there are some cases, you know. I know of a case the employer allowed her to work
Yes. Yes.
even
yes.
while pregnant and
Yes.
take care of the baby also, right?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes,
So, and I even have know of a case that she gave birth
Yes.
to Hong Kong.
Yes.
Because we're lucky or we're blessed that we have a very supportive medical system.
Yes,
So
yes,
can you
yes,
tell
yes.
me about that?
Sure, you know, like the thing is that I think a lot of employers they may worry about the hospital bill, medical bill who will pay for the domestic worker. But actually, like in Hong Kong, all the domestic worker they are entitled to free prenatal checkup in the private hospital. And if they decide to give birth in Hong Kong, also it's very affordable fees. So like for all the expenses, medical expenses related to pregnancy, it should be the worker is the one who have to pay for the bills and for the fees.
Okay, so what we're telling here now is don't worry. Hong Kong's
Yes.
medical system, and it's very affordable.
Yes.
You can give birth here. Actually, it's even more.
Yes, yes.
It's even cheaper in
Yes,
Hong Kong
yes,
than in the
yes, yes.
Philippines. You know,
Yeah.
the cesarean operation is
Yeah.
it costs so little.
Yes.
If you have a delivery in
Yes, yes.
Philippines, it will
Yes.
cost you hundreds of thousands in Philippines.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why maybe you can even give birth here,
Yes.
and it's legal.
Yes.
And that is for legal
For legal, yes.
cases, which
And-
means they have a contract,
Yes.
working contract.
Yes,
What if
yes.
it is not? I mean, in the case of overstay, how
Yes.
can you help?
Like go back to for the legal cases,
Okay.
like okay, if they are allowed to give birth in Hong Kong, and actually all the fees will be paid by the worker, but then just be reminded that not all the Hong Kong born children will become a Hong Kong permanent resident. So because like some people will misunderstand, oh, if I give birth in Hong Kong, my child will automatically become Hong Kong permanent resident, which is not true.
Yeah.
Okay, so it really depends on who is the baby father. But normally, if the mom is a Filipino's worker and the
Yeah.
father also is a Filipino, so even though if they give birth in Hong Kong, the child will not become Hong Kong permanent resident. So like this is the one thing that we need to clarify. Yes.
And I read recently
Yes,
that there is a case like
Yes.
this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, one is already published in South China Morning Post. One Filipino domestic helper.
Yeah.
She gave birth. She married in 2005 a Pakistani.
Yes.
All right, permanent resident.
Yes.
and her daughter was born here in Hong Kong in 2006.
Yes.
But after a while, the baby grow up, and now there is a case wherein she is filing for permanent residency.
Yes.
She as domestic helper,
Yeah.
so that she can be together with the family.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it was denied
Yes. Yes.
by the legal system.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's not an assurance, you know, that
Yes.
when you give birth or when you marry someone who is permanent resident, you automatically become
Yes. Yes.
a resident
That's-
here.
yeah.
Because it takes 7 years.
Yes.
You
yes,
have
yes.
to apply for 7 years. And what if in the process you are divorced?
Yes, true.
Because
true,
it's
true,
happening, you know?
True.
The permanent resident husband, or let's say a partner, no?
Yes.
Even
Yes.
because you become dependent first
Yes,
for
yes.
7 years.
Yes.
If in the process you lose the
Yes.
dependency,
Yes.
then the permanent residency is not valid.
Yes,
later.
yes.
Yeah?
So
Okay.
like respond to your case. So like the baby father is a Hong Kong permanent resident, and the child also Hong Kong permanent resident, right?
Yeah.
But then the mom, you know, is a domestic worker and also cannot become Hong Kong permanent resident because of the child. So like I think in this case it's really good that to reflect, you know, like okay, even though the child is a Hong Kong permanent resident, if the moms cannot become a Hong Kong permanent resident, who will look after the child? You
That's
know,
right.
so will they be separate, or at the end she still need to bring her child back to her home country? So
Okay.
like you know, this is one thing that I think we really need to look at and think about when we are having children.
Okay, but again, if you're already pregnant, it doesn't mean that you are hopeless,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We have PathFinders here who is providing us some services
Yes.
in terms of from pregnancy to childbirth.
Yes.
Let's talk about childbirth right away now.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So what happens to the child?
Yes.
Okay, mother, as you said, you know, a migrant woman, a
Yes.
migrant mother,
Yeah.
give birth to the child, and we already mentioned that it is not automatically also a permanent resident
Yes.
if,
Yes.
because I know there's some case that,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
the child follows the visa of the mother,
moms.
is
Yes,
it?
true,
Alright.
true. Like for example, okay, if the domestic worker who are pregnant and the baby father is from her home country, right?
Yeah.
So like even though if she decide to give birth in Hong Kong, the status will be following the mom. And if the mom is have a working visa, so actually the child will have a dependent visa on her mom
On her
working
mom.
with their working visa. So it will same status. So if the mom is a Hong Kong overstayer, stay in Hong Kong with a paper holder. So even though she give birth in Hong Kong, the child will also become a paper holder as an overstayer. Okay.
Okay. Now there are also scenarios wherein the helper is allowed, yeah,
Yes,
allowed by the employer. Thank you. You're a very good employer, you know.
Yes.
Does he have to be in the employer's house?
Yes, actually, like during the 10 weeks maternity leave, if the helper decide to stay in Hong Kong to give birth, in according to the law, she is required to stay in employer's home during that 10 weeks maternity leave, yeah, until she gave birth.
Okay, so she is allowed to stay in employer's
Yes,
home.
yes.
What about giving birth? I mean, okay.
Yes. So after giving birth, she need to find out what she want to do with her babies. You know, like the ideal case would be maybe someone will look after the baby, because like it's not the employer obligation to
That's
look
it.
after the helper babies also in the home. So but during that 10 weeks maternity leave, if she stay in Hong Kong, she's required to stay at employer's home. But after the baby is born, actually the baby will have to, you know, think about if someone is looking after the baby, or she would bring back to her home country.
That's right.
And then live at her home country with her relatives, with her friends, and then come back to work again. Or if she has someone to look after her baby in Hong Kong, you know, she can also do that. But that is not the employer obligation to look after her child as well.
Okay, we already appreciate the employer's help,
Yes.
right? But do not abuse it. Okay, the idea here is, okay, the employer allow you, or obligation
Yes.
to take care of your baby.
Yes,
So most of the time, the helper who get pregnant, they bring home the baby, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So a lot of the time it's like, okay, like the helper have a husband back home, and then same as maybe during leave, she went back home and then she get pregnant and then come back. But so she will work out the solution with her employers and then decide which 10 weeks she want to take leave, and then she can went home and then give birth and then leave the baby to her husband and then come back to work again.
Okay, may I repeat? She's entitled to 10 weeks
Yes.
maternity leave. That is for the legal helper
Yes,
or
yes.
who has a working visa.
Yes.
And it can be done within the period of delivery. And then when she comes back, she can work again.
Yes.
And those 10 weeks of maternity leave, she's entitled to 4/5.
Yeah, 4/5
4/5
of
of
the
her
wages.
monthly wages.
Yes.
So 10,
Yeah, so like in Hong
yeah.
Kong is the $4,520, so 4/5 of that pay. Yes.
All right. And then, as we said, the child is not officially, or say, how do you call it, officially permanent resident. It depends on the mother's status or even the father's status,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And the child can stay here with the help, actually, of the employers, or they have to go home
Yes.
so that they can work again, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. What to do if they are overstay already? Can you help?
Yes. So actually, a lot of the times when the domestic worker they find out they're pregnant, they will resign on their own because they are so frightened. They don't know what to
Resign,
do.
okay.
Yeah. So like we don't encourage them to do that because otherwise it will make them in a very vulnerable situation because once they overstay, they cannot access to the public health care service.
All
And
right.
also, they will go underground and then they cannot access to any, social welfare assistance as well. So, like, once they overstay, we will encourage them to surrender.
Surrender.
Yes, yes.
Do you know of anyone who is in the who has overstayed their visa because of pregnancy? PathFinders is here to help. If you don't know, right?
Yes,
I used to work also with PathFinders, and we help a lot of Indonesian and Filipino workers who overstayed their visa and to surrender
Yes, yes.
to the
yes.
immigration, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So once they surrender, actually, we help them, to like with the baby plan and then the pregnancy option, and also think about what to do in the future, and we also will provide assistance for them to return home as well. So once they are paper holder, actually we do provide a different service, but then we will also assist them in planning in returning home, and then to plan with the baby future as well.
Okay, that's another hope, yeah?
Yes,
A pathway. That's a path, PathFinders is pathway to hope,
Yes,
yeah?
yes,
Okay, so PathFinders is helping them from pregnancy to make informed decisions,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, and also for them to surrender in case they are undocumented
Yes,
or
yes.
they have overstayed their visa,
Yes.
and to have access to healthcare, is it?
Yes, yes.
Healthcare
service, and also have a legal advice.
Legal
yeah.
advices, what
Yeah.
else?
Yes, and then home country integration.
Home
program.
country integration. In other words, when you go back to your country and you need some help to integrate in a better way,
Yes.
well, not really financially, but
Yes,
maybe
yes,
it can be
yes.
worked out that way.
Yes.
But PathFinders is here to give you informed decisions,
Yes.
not only for the migrant women but also for the baby.
Yes, yes.
What
yes,
else?
yes.
What else does PathFinders offer? Would you like to invite our our program officer is here also. I'd like to invite Miss Jaline Bayat.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Miss Jaline Bayat is program officer also of PathFinders. Yeah. So I think you can share more light about the PathFinders mission, vision, and services.
Yep, so PathFinders works to ensure that migrant women who have encountered unplanned pregnancy or have a child born in Hong Kong, we can help provide them with the right information, empower them so that they know how to find the correct path for them and their child. So we do this through such programs like we have humanitarian and social welfare support. So we might provide counseling, one-on-one to see what they want. Do they want to have the baby? In Hong Kong, termination of pregnancy is actually legal. So that is also an option. Or would they like to put the baby up for adoption? From that point, then we can see what other programs they are available that they are able to do. So such as if they want to go home, they can go, we will refer them to the home country integration, which allows them to either go back home to Indonesia or Philippines, most of our clients, for them to have the brighter future for them and their child, as well as community education, outreach for us, because we are trying to raise awareness on maternity rights and protection for migrant workers in Hong Kong.
Well, thank you for that information that PathFinders has been doing a lot. Actually, how many cases have you handled?
So far we have handled, like last year we have 255 cases.
250
Yeah,
you have helped a lot, you know?
Yes,
But
yes.
in terms of the child,
Child, we have last year we have around 300 children. We
300,
have helped, yeah, in
wow,
Hong Kong.
300 children, and some are
Yes.
repeat cases, I believe.
Yes, and then like around, I think like 13% of them returning home last year.
Okay, okay, there's a question on board. Is there a fee if we will ask assistance to PathFinders?
So PathFinders is a registered non-government organization in Hong Kong. So our services are free of charge.
Free of charge, and they even facilitate, they even provide extra service like for those undocumented, you know.
Yes, Yep.
Because they are no longer free in terms of access to medical
Yes,
or even
yes,
legal, but Finders will find a way to give pro bono,
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
pro bono medical,
Yes,
pro
yes.
bono legal.
Yes, yes,
So that is it. We have Finders here to assist you.
Yes. So like one of the initiatives that we do in the home country integration program is that we will assist our client to get the birth certificate, you know,
Okay.
yeah, in Hong Kong, and also like from the consulates, you know, to prepare them the travel document before they are returning home.
Okay, that's
Yes.
good. So they assist in looking for assistance in many ways, you
Yes,
know.
yes.
From the very start, which is to have informed decisions,
Yeah.
and also to get documentation for yourself and for the baby, and in case there is a legal dispute, provide legal
Yes,
services,
that's
isn't it?
Yes, yes. Because we have
Okay.
a good relationship with Indonesian consulate as well as Filipino consulates. Yes. And
Oh.
there's other question.
Yeah, there's another question on board. Okay, what will happen to overstaying mom if they got caught by immigration officers?
Yes, this is a really good question because it really depends on how long she overstay. You know, if she
Okay.
overstay for over 2 years or more, so she probably will face like jail time.
Jail time,
Yeah.
alright.
So actually, like the sooner she come forward to surrender, is better. And also it's case by case. Because some people they overstay for the 5 years, 10 years, and also during the overstay they commit crimes. So
Commit crimes,
yeah, so,
yeah.
so
Like
you-
theft, yeah?
yeah, like theft, like robbery, or
Or
like
illegal work.
Illegal
They
work,
overstay,
yes,
right?
yes,
They can't
yes.
work.
yes.
So, but they need to find a way of living because Hong
That's
Kong is
right.
one of the world's most expensive cities. They need to be able to sustain themselves, so they might be tempted to do illegal work.
So once if they later they get caught by immigration officer, they will face heavy sentences.
And
Because of the overstaying, because of the offense, criminal offense.
yeah, but I don't know which case is this, but an overstaying mom and the baby,
Yes.
are they jailed?
Yes.
Together with the baby?
Yes. Like
Oh my
sometimes if like she couldn't find anyone to look after the baby,
Uh-huh.
so the only way that she have to bring the baby in jail as well. So this will be left to government to look after what to do with the baby. So we really do not want to see this happen to anyone.
Yeah, so in other words, let's not get to the more serious problem, you know. So if you are overstayed, first of all, if you are pregnant, there are some assistance being offered now by PathFinders to be able to maybe contact your employer for your rights, you know, like that, or you can even inquire from them first, you know, and then for those are for the legal, yeah. They can go to the hospital for checkup, and then right away, yeah, because they need to present the medical certificate, right? And then they can give birth in Hong Kong for a minimal fee, right? Okay, and then I think they can bring home. How long can they go? I mean the airline depends on the airline, right?
Yeah, depends on. So like usually it's the 4 to 6 weeks before their due dates. You know, they need to fly back home. Okay, we have another question.
Okay, another question. After maternity leave, does the helper have a right to put her baby in a child care in Hong Kong? Are we talking of legal here? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
After maternity leave,
Yes.
do they have a right to put her baby in a child care in Hong Kong?
Yes, actually, like once she bring back her, if she give birth in Hong Kong and she's still working as a domestic worker, right? She can consider the child care in Hong Kong, but usually it will cost more than her monthly salary, you know.
Okay, so it's not free.
Yeah, it's not free.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Alright.
like it
It's
will
not
cost
free.
much more than her monthly salary. You know, the childcare in Hong Kong is so
Very
expensive,
expensive.
much more than $4,000, and maybe even not including the supplies, the food,
And
you know,
have
that.
to sustain
Right.
the child
Yeah,
care
sustain
over
that,
the
nappies,
period.
the
But
nappies,
I
the
believe
powder.
PathFinders can provide some supplies, right?
Yeah, but like we don't kind of one-off supplies.
One-off supply
Yeah,
only.
one-off supplies. Yeah, for the
Oh, I
emergency.
see. That
yeah.
makes a difference,
yes,
right?
Yes. So,
So-
not like for a couple of years.
Oh, yeah. You cannot sustain forever. Alright, okay. The idea here is, okay, as when you give birth, which is you feel weak, you know, you're not yet predisposed to go home right away, then you can access the child care service.
Yes,
But
yes.
eventually, you still have to bring home the baby.
Yes.
Because even if you are legal, you are here to work, not to
Yes.
take care of your own baby. You take care of other babies,
Yes,
right?
yes,
All right, okay. Unless there's an employer is doing very good. I know one employer.
Yes.
She allowed for
Yes.
1 year the baby, and then after 1 year she
Yes,
finished
yes.
her contract. They brought her home. They're very good, huh? So we're thankful of those employers.
Yes. We are
Alright.
thank you, because we also have some very good employer. They are very understanding. They have a good relationship with the helper. They consider the helper is one of the family member, you know, and
Yeah.
also very happy for her to have a child, start her family, you know, so really supportive, and then really willing and to, provide the 10 weeks maternity leave, and then return home, and then come back again to work with the same household.
I have a quick question here, you know. Some employers, they allow the helper
Yes.
to give birth
Yes.
in Hong Kong.
Yes.
And is it possible for them to adopt the same baby
Like it will be
for
quite,
adoption process?
yeah, but it will be quite tricky, because for adoption in Hong Kong usually it's anonymous. Yes, and
Anonymous.
then, anonymous.
Ah.
You know, like unless it's a keen relationship, you know, or in the relatives or blood related. But otherwise, for the adoption in Hong Kong, everyone pursue the adoption in Hong Kong. It will be mainly anonymous.
But that's an option,
Yeah,
right?
that's an option,
Okay,
yes.
that's an option for unwanted or
Yes,
unplanned
yes.
pregnancies. There is no unwanted, you know. It's unplanned pregnancies, okay?
Yes.
That's an option. If you really cannot bring home, or you cannot take care of your baby for some reasons or another, you can also go through the adoption process. Of course, social welfare. I think
Yes,
the social welfare department of Hong Kong can assist. You can approach them, but it's not automatic that you can just give it to anyone.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I think that's one recent.
Yeah. Maybe we can also mention about the pregnancy option.
Okay,
Yes.
pregnancy options.
Yes, so if they do decide to keep their baby, then of course there's PathFinders, and like I mentioned earlier, termination of pregnancy, abortion is legal in Hong Kong. However, this is only performed at family planning Association and public hospitals, we strongly advise that you people do not take or buy illegal abortion pills and do it themselves, because that is very harmful to the woman's body, and it could put you at physical physical weakness. But this is abortion is legal in Hong Kong.
Yes, and it has to be done before.
It has to be done before 20 weeks, and usually the pregnant worker has to have 2 doctors sign off that she is mentally and physically fit to be able to have an abortion.
Yeah, but for me, life is sacred, you know.
Yes, yes.
We always have many options, but we always think about that, you know, that life is sacred, and there are many options, but always think about the fear of God, you know. It's the beginning of wisdom, right? Okay. If the helper, it's another question here, if the helper is pregnant and overstayed and went back to the place of origin, can still go back to Hong Kong to work?
Well, yes, because it really depends on how long did she overstay. You know, and during overstay, did she commit any criminal offenses?
All right.
Because like the record is kept in immigration department.
Okay.
You know, like for example, if while she's overstaying, she applied for asylum seeker, and also she working illegal. You know, so most unlikely she can come back to work, because like there may be a criminal record. You know,
right.
like after her entrance.
And even
Yeah.
if I may cut you short, and even if they are not pregnant or you did not give birth, as long as you overstayed,
Yes.
it will be hard for you to
Yes.
come back to Hong Kong, because
Yeah.
you may have a record, you know,
Yes,
like a
criminal,
blacklist, or
yes,
you know.
criminal
So
offenses.
you have it's against the law to
Yeah.
overstay. So immigration is a right to say,
Yes.
no, we won't allow you to
Yes.
come back because
You overstayed
you already
before.
overstayed and you
Yeah.
broke the law.
Yes.
Why will we allow you? But of course, it's case to case
Yes,
basis,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, do you have any questions somewhere, or can you add some more inputs?
So just on our end for tips, we say if you do become pregnant, you can still work. You do not have to resign. You don't have to sign any papers if you're unsure. So you do have the right to sustain your work, and it is between the relationship between you and your employer for you to communicate and figure out a plan moving forward for your pregnancy, whether you're going to keep the baby, whether it's going to be an adoption, or whether it's going to be abortion. And then, of course, if you come to PathFinders, that's how we can provide assistance. As we say, we want you to know your options. So our main focus is to provide and to give you knowledge for you to make informed decisions for you and your child. And if you are in Hong Kong, we do like to do community outreach to spread more awareness about the situation of migrant workers who become pregnant in Hong Kong, their maternity rights. So you can call PathFinders hotline 5190-4886. So we can or look us up on the website or Facebook. We're called PathFinders, and you can reach us there.
Yeah. Okay. Can we repeat the hotline?
5190-4886.
All right. So you can please contact them. 5190-4886 hotline. Okay. I believe that hotline you can ask more important questions. Even if you're overstayer, they will be there to help you. And
All the services are free.
services are free. And as they said, we are also moving around Hong Kong to give this kind of information. You can also call the same hotline, right?
Yes.
If you need, like, if you have an organization or your church, or that maybe they can provide more information and counseling. You know, they are very willing to do that. And of course, they also encouraging volunteerism. Can you talk more about that? Volunteers. You know?
Yes, and we accept like free donation, for maternity clothes and baby clothes. Like you're welcome to donate to us, and also like we are happy to have volunteers to help us with our daily activities like education workshop and also like coding, like distribution. Yes, but one last thing that I want to remind everyone is like think about the family planning.
Family
and
planning.
Yes,
Yeah, you forgot about
yes,
that,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Alright.
Because like having a baby is a big thing in life.
Right,
Like how
sure.
to raise a child, where financial stability, and also who to look after is a lifelong process.
Yeah, we're going to that. Family planning or responsible parenthood,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Especially if you come to Hong Kong to
Yes.
work
Yes.
and then you become pregnant, it of course completely makes your whole situation difficult financially
Yes.
and your plans.
Yeah,
Yes,
or
yes.
of course, the thing here is that life is sacred, but before you go into this, you have to plan,
Yes.
and you also have to make sure that the future of the child is taken care of. Of
Yes.
course, also the mother. That's why we
Yes.
take care of the mother too first, right?
Yes.
We take care of the health,
Yes.
the documentation,
Yes.
legal documentation
Yes.
before, and then the child after.
Yes.
Okay, so I believe we have exhausted the issue. Unless you can
Yes.
give some more tips or some more okay, family planning, and then for those overstay or understay.
Yes.
Okay,
And
so
and do not overstay. And if it's happened that you overstay, please come forward and surrender as soon as possible.
surrender as soon as possible. Oh, isn't that a good news for those overstayer? We are really advising, do not forever hide. Come out in the open, because as soon as you surrender, there is more hope,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. At this point, I'd like to remind everyone to please. Our topic last week is absentee voting, and I hope everybody has voted. The overseas absentee voting is started in April 13 and will end on May 13. So barely 2 weeks, yeah, to cast your vote. This will be held at Bayanihan, and the main precinct is in Bayanihan Center with regards to Hong Kong, and of course all over the world. This is happening all over the world. We have 90 posts, overseas posts, according to our congen, and we have 2 million overseas voters registered that can cast a vote, that will make a difference in the status or in the future of Philippines because of our government system, right? Okay, so go out and vote, mga kababayan, in Hong Kong, all over the Philippines, and I believe we'd like, at this point, I'd like to thank everyone, especially our guest,
Thank you.
Miss Carmen Lam, thank you for coming, and of course, Miss Jaline Bayat. Okay, incidentally, she's half Filipino, alright? Okay, and we'd like to thank everyone for watching our FB Live show, and watch out for the next one, which is in May 25 with SSS about the mandatory insurance. It's a controversial issue, but it's high time to discuss it. So thank you, everyone, and good luck. God bless you all.